helenmartinonline.com. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. For those of you that have not connected with me before, as I said, my name is Helen Martin from helenmartinonline.com. And predominantly I help home-based business owners bring their business online and teach them things like branding and social media marketing and Facebook advertising, lead generation, those kind of things. But I also do talk a lot about mindset, because it's really difficult to be really happy in life and really successful in life unless you sort of think, speak, act, the right way. Nobody's perfect, but there's certainly things that we can do in our lives to have better outcomes, I guess, and be more successful. So if you are connecting with me for the first time live or even on the replay, please pop a 1 down below. I'd love to just say hi and just connect with you, and even just chime in, tell me your name and where you're from. That'd be awesome. But as my heading said today, what I want to talk about is, I think we've all got people in our life that that they just shoot from the hip, and they don't think before they speak, and they're really, really reactive. And I've certainly got some people around me in my life that do that. And I just want to raise the level of awareness. If that's you, or if you've got people around you like that, maybe you could teach them a thing or two. So if that's relevant to you, then listen up, because I do believe this is really important. And people that don't think before they speak don't really realize the impact that they have on others. So, we could all do with learning to think before we speak. And I not only mean speak in words, I mean text message, Facebook, Messenger, all those kind of things as well. They're all words. So some people have really bad habits when it comes to this, and they just react when things go bad or something hasn't gone their way, and they just blurt out whatever it is they're thinking, and whoever is listening, and it really is not an attractive quality. So one of the most important things that we can do is control our words, and if you can control your words, you can actually change your life. So as I said before, the words that we use, they are very impactful, and you can't take them back. Once they're out there, once they're said, even if you say you're sorry, there's still the memory of what was sort of said in the first place. So it's really important for people to know that your speech shapes your life. Your words are a reflection of who you are. So if your gut reaction when you're angry or something triggers you in some way is just to go bleh, it's a real reflection of the person that you are. And sometimes that's not the most, attractive quality. So if your words get you into trouble, if that's you, then you really need to, have a look at that. And just remember, if your words are getting you into trouble, you're really showing people the non-attractive qualities of who you are. And it's showing that, perhaps you're a bit thoughtless and careless and self-centered when you do that. So it's really important to have a great awareness and think before you speak. Your speech actually influences, your thinking. And, we often think your thoughts are first and then you speak. But when you shoot from the hip and you don't think before you speak, your thoughts are not playing much of a part there. You're just going blah. The problem with that is when you do that, you are showing probably your worst qualities, if it's not in a positive way. It's showing that you are a little bit thoughtless and you're careless. I'm not trying to be harsh on anybody here, but I have been the result of this. And I have people in my life that, something doesn't go right, and anybody and everybody who listens, they'll project that out to. And it doesn't give across a lot of positive energy. It's quite negative. Angry words, harsh words, words that are not positive, all they do is project negative energy. And whether it's directed at the person or not, like it might not be the person's fault that you're talking to or telling them a story about what's going on, but the negative energy that comes with that is not a positive thing. So when people speak before they think, it has a huge impact on people, whether they realize it or not. And when you project anger and you project frustration without thinking about your words first, it's really hard for people to respect you. So you think about this in a workplace. A new boss comes in, or a new employer comes in, or somebody you're working with is new, but they're higher than you. And they come into that workplace or your environment and they don't like what they see, or they think they can do it a better way. So they just shoot from the hip and they bark, 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 bark. Is anybody going to respect that person? That person hasn't taken the time or the thought or any energy to understand what's going on before they voice their opinion. So in any circumstance, in your relationship, in your job, in your career, in your business, with your children, think before you speak. I do this with my kids all the time. I very quickly learnt, my youngest son, I was seeing a pattern really quickly. When he was doing something wrong and I would yell at him, sorry, notification there, and I would yell at him, all I would get back is he would yell at me. And it made me realise, wow, what I'm projecting, I'm just getting back. And he's not respecting me, he's not listening to me, I'm projecting anger and frustration, my voice is raised, and I'm just basically shooting from the hip. And so the reaction I got back was not a positive one, and it didn't get me anywhere, and he wouldn't do what I'd say. So now I've learnt, you have to stop and think, okay, what they're doing I'm really not happy with, but how can I say it in a way that's going to get a better result? So very calmly, I will say, hey, whatever's going on, and then sort of say it without a raised voice, and it gets a far better reaction. I also find if I stop and think, we're all human. Things happen to us. Things, not positive things, happen to us. Something triggers us. But I have learnt, bite my tongue, even when somebody really annoys me. I bite my tongue and I think about what I'm going to say. Or if something's really triggered a response and I am frustrated by a person, or someone's really hurt me or upset me, or they projected something on me, and it's like, hey, that's not my fault. I didn't create that problem. Why are you yelling at me? So our natural reaction is to bite back. But to really turn this around and make it better for you in your life is if you can bite your tongue for a second and have a think about it for a few minutes, have a think about it for 15 minutes, even better, have a think about it for half an hour before you speak, before you send a message, before you send a text message. Have a real think about what you're going to say and about the situation. And remember three things. Is what you are going to say, whether that's through your words or through speech or through your words, is what you're saying, is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? If there's no value in what you're saying, don't say it at all. I say to my kids all the time, unless you've got something nice to say, don't say anything. So if you're somebody that reacts, people do this on Facebook all the time. Something annoys them and then they have a rant on Facebook. Reverse that role. When you're reading somebody else's stuff, all their negative stuff, or you're at the other end of a phone call or a text message about what they're feeling, how does that make you feel? So if you're that person that speaks before you think, reverse the roles and think, well, would what I'm saying, would that hurt somebody, or would that offend them? Just stop and think for a minute. And also think, if you were on the reverse side of what you're saying to somebody else, how would it make you feel? So shooting from the hip, reacting, blurting out, all it does is send negative energy, and people don't respect you for it. In the workplace, in your relationships, and often where this is going to hurt you the most is with your husband, your wife, your children, and your career. So I just, and why I'm raising this today is just to make people think about this. And I do have people in my life that do this to me. And even though something might go on, I might not have created the issue. I might not be able to resolve the issue, but, it's barked at me through a text message or through words or whatever, and it sort of takes you back a bit, and it's not a positive thing. It's not a positive quality of the other person that's delivering the message. So have a think about how you make other people feel before you speak and before you write a message or use Facebook or, whatever it is. So what I would encourage you to do to make this better is when you speak or when you write a message to somebody, do it calmly, give compliments, show appreciation, show understanding, and avoid angry words. Angry words only create negative energy. So a real trick is just when you're reacting to something, when you're angry about something, just stop and think. When you stop and think and give it some time, it's often not as bad as you think it is. And then you can relay the message in a more positive way. You can relay the message in a more diplomatic way that's not going to offend people, upset people, or have people not respect you. So I hope that makes sense in some way, but really a great quality to have. And the most successful people on this planet are ones that can control their emotions. So if you know you're not good at controlling your emotions, just try to remember, stop and think before you speak or you write. That's the best thing you can do. And it's a learnt quality. It's not necessarily something you can change overnight, but if you're aware of it and you can just bite your lip and stop and think, your life will be better off for it. So I hope I haven't offended anybody, and that just gives you something to think about. So until my next Facebook Live, I'll see you then. Bye.